Hi, this is Karen from Rustic River Home, and today we're going to make a wall hanging using the IOD frames molds. I bought a 12 by 16 inch frame canvas from the craft store, and I've removed the canvas from the frame, and I'm using Pentart's laser gel to stain the frame. Pentart's laser gel is available in 14 different colors. I'm just applying the laser gel with a brush and wiping it back with a paper towel. I'm going to prepare the background of my canvas now by using printed papers I bought on Etsy and old book pages. I'm just choosing my papers, and once I'm happy with my selection, I'm going to tear the pages into different sizes and decoupage it onto the canvas using Pentart's Ultra Matte Decoupage glue. I've torn most of the papers and I will start planning a layout. I'm happy with how it will look, so I'm starting to glue down the papers by applying a layer of the decoupage glue under the paper, following with a layer on the top of the paper to seal it. I'm just filling in the gaps with smaller papers until most of the canvas is covered, and I'm just making sure all the papers are completely glued down and sealed. I'm very happy with how it turned out. The canvas is now completely dry, and I'm going to add some aging by using Fuchsia's Antiquing Glaze to cover the whole canvas. I'm applying it with a brush and wiping back the excess with a paper towel. I'm now going to add some Pentart's Antique Paste in Umber to darken the edges of the papers where it's torn to age it a bit more. Again, using a brush to apply and wiping back the excess with a paper towel. I'm able to wipe back a bit because the canvas is sealed with a decoupage medium. I'm just using a heat gun to dry it, and I do think the background is a bit dark, so once it's dry I will dry brush some white paint just to lighten the entire canvas a bit. I'm just using a paper towel to wipe most of the paint off the paintbrush, and I'm going to just lightly paint over the canvas to lighten it a bit. I'm now going to make my castings using Amazing Casting Resin, mixing equal parts of part A and part B and pouring it into the molds. I'm making small amounts at a time because the resin cures in about 10 minutes. I overpoured some resin into the small frame, but while it's still soft, I'm just using a craft knife to cut away the parts I don't want. The resin has now cured and I can remove all the castings from the molds. I've painted all the castings with Fusion's Victorian lace. I've dried it with a heat gun, and I'm going to add some Pentart's metallic wax paste to all the frames, keyhole and key castings, and I'm using some bronze and gold. I'm using my finger to add the paste to all the high places of the molds and a brush to push some of the gold into the crevices. I'm now going to decoupage the inside of the 3 frames with Roy Cycle Treasure's beautiful paper. This one is the catalog paper, and it's just the perfect size for these small frames. I'm just measuring and cutting out the designs I want, and I will go ahead and glue it down with a decoupage medium. The decoupage medium is now dry, and I'm going to add some crackling effect using Pentart's Fine Line Crackle medium. It comes in 2 parts and should be applied with a clean dry brush for each part. Once part 1 is dry, part 2 can be applied, and when that is dry is when the beautiful fine line cracks appear. I'll be highlighting the cracks with Pentart's Umber Antique Paste by using my finger to push it into the cracks and wiping the excess with a paper towel. Once it's dry, it should be sealed with a solvent-based glossy varnish. I'm now working out the layout of my design to check where I want to add some raised stenciling. Once I'm happy with the layout, I will use Fusion Smooth Embossing Paste to add some dimension to the canvas. I'm using a palette knife to carefully apply to the stencil. The embossing paste is quite thick, so it makes it so easy. I've cut out a few transfers, and I'll be using the transfer tool to rub the transfer onto the canvas. I'm just positioning the rest of the transfers and rubbing it down with the transfer tool and using the backing sheet to burnish the design to ensure that it's completely adhered. I will go ahead and glue down all the frames with tight bond glue. I'm just adding some more of the Pentart's Antique Paste into the cracks of the little decoupaged frames. The IOD frames molds are so versatile and can be used for so many projects. I am so happy with how it turned out. Once again, thank you for watching, and please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to follow me for more DIY projects. Till next time.